and welcome back to Map the Maze and the Summer Book Club. This week, I wanted to share a very slender volume with you, but dealing with this very serious and difficult topic. So it's called Overcoming the Co-Parenting Trap, Essential Parenting Skills when a Child Resists a Parent. So in the family mediation space, this topic, resistance by a child to maintaining contact with a parent, is a really hot topic. It's something that we work with. It's a challenge, I think, in every case in which there is resistance. And part of the challenge is it resistance that is justified because there is some danger to the child? There is a safety issue. So that's always the first concern. Is the child safe? If it's not about safety, then is it because there has been some deliberate attempt to alienate a parent and a child? Or is it because the child is trapped in conflict between the parents and this is a coping mechanism? It's a way of saying, I'm just going to pick a side and hope that side works out. Without doubt, this is one of the hardest things that I think we deal with in family mediation. And there aren't always great tools. This book has been written in particular by Matthew Sullivan, who is a parenting coordinator. So that's somebody who would work with parents, maybe after separation and divorce, to help them to co-parent. So to actually act as a coach, act as a mediator if they can't agree on things. And in the final instance, at least in some jurisdictions, like in the US where Matthew Sullivan practices, to act as a decision maker on small issues. This book has been prepared by him based on his experience, both as a parenting coordinator and as a psychologist and mediator, looking at how do you deal with that? That one of the things that you might say is, well, they're a child, parents make decisions, which is true. However, the challenge is trying to find positive, constructive ways that don't demonize the parents, either parent, that don't punish or alienate children even further. How do you deal with that? And I think this book is, for all its slimness, is actually incredibly thoughtful and insightful. And definitely for parents who are struggling with this challenge, that maybe they have a child who is resisting contact with them or with the other parent, this is a really helpful guide. So he actually gives very practical tips about how to deal with different scenarios in terms of what does the resistance look like. And sadly, I think, I think every family mediator's probably worked with a couple of families where, despite the best efforts of everybody involved, despite working with mental health professionals, there hasn't been a way to overcome the resistance, and that a parent is isolated from the child. And so I think it also gives some really helpful ideas for how to deal with that. That if you're at the end of the road, you've exhausted every option in terms of either working with professionals, how do you keep the door open to that relationship? Because I think one thing that is really critical is that life changes, that a teenager who at 14 is maybe resisting contact with a parent is maybe not going to be like that at 16 or at 18 or when they're at college, or now they're an adult and maybe now things have changed. So I guess I would say, I think this book can provide a lot of great advice, practical advice, but also a lot of wisdom just in terms of how do you, if you are the parent who is being resisted, how do you manage that? And if you are the favored parent, i.e. the parent who isn't being resisted, how do you manage that? That this may not be because you're doing anything deliberately, but it may be a situation that you're trying to manage and finding really difficult to navigate between a child and an ex-partner. So not exactly light reading, but a great book.